The Democrats are desperate. I mean, they're getting more and more and more desperate by the minute. They had this little act of defiance the other night there. You saw Al Green, right, at the State of the Union. That was quite a little act. And then today he said, oh, I'm proud of it. I'm doubling down. He's doubling down on this as the party realizes they have to change. And you'd think maybe they're going to change for the good. No. They want to change for the bad. They're like looking at this Jasmine Crockett. I mean, she makes AOC look smart. They're looking at Jasmine Crockett as potentially a 2028 candidate. Kid you not. I mean, it's being discussed because they think that she's like this bright future. And I'm like, wow, you guys really don't get it. You really don't. Anyway, here is Al Green saying today he'd do it all over again.
Friends, I would do it again. I have to be candid with you. I'm not trying to in some way insult you. This is a matter of principle. This is a matter of conscience. There are people suffering in this country because they don't.
All right. So he's not sorry. He would do it again. And when he got censured today, the Democrats' answer was to start singing. And badly, I would add. I say that as a classically trained opera singer. It's hard on my ears when I hear things like this.
A motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The House will come to order. The House will come to order. Shh. Will Representative Green present himself to the well?
Okay. So he's coming up, I guess, or not. And they're starting to gather, and somehow they're...
By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker.
Can you hear the singing? I'm sorry, guys. You know what? You got nothing. You got nothing. You got no issues. You don't have any candidates. You're looking to Jasmine Crockett. That's when you know you really, really, really start to have a problem, okay? Jasmine Crockett. Now, do you guys know who she is? She's the woman from Texas. Leslie, I'm sorry. I know you're from the great state of Texas. I don't know how they elect somebody like this. Jeff Iverson, thank you so much for the generosity. I'm going to get to you in a second. I just don't know how they elect somebody like this at all because, well, let me show you. Here she is singing a rather controversial song. Controversial because, you know, they played this one in the Super Bowl and it didn't go over so well. It was, you know, really considered kind of divisive, if you would. And this particular song was sung by Kendrick Lamar. You remember that at the Super Bowl? It came under a lot of criticism. I'm not going to actually play the music. I have to do this carefully because, well, we can't. There's music rights and he may go after us. Here we go. Okay, so I'm cutting out the music, but you can see her dancing with her gal pals in her office, and the Democrat Party is talking about this woman like she's actually their future. Now, in a weird way, she might actually be. Now, hear me out for a second, because, by the way, she can't dance. She really can't dance. I mean, so she's doing a TikTok lip-syncing video through the halls of Congress, and that's all they got. They're talking about running her for the presidency of the United States of America or putting her on as VP. So that tells you how desperate they are. And, you know, one of my team members, David, and I were talking about this earlier, and it was like, okay, this is awful, this is bad, this is tragic. But in some weird ways, she seems to be the only one that's like resonating. So they're turning to her instead of AOC. AOC, after all, didn't perform. They didn't get the Hispanics. So they're thinking maybe this woman can help us win back the black vote. But I don't think so. I don't think she's actually going to reach the people that do vote. And I don't think she's got the right message either. Not at all. I mean, she's just, I mean, here she is doing another little stint and she's trash talking the president. And it's kind of gross, but look, she's gross.
Listen, he up there, he's spewing all kinds of nonsense and bullshit. Let me just be real. And we ain't gonna sit for that shit. we wouldn't. You know, we showed up. And if he had some sense, then maybe we would have been about that life. But y'all know he ain't got no sense. So please give some love. This took a little bit of coordinating to do for sure. We got some cool shirts. We got Madam Williams, who just happens to have the honorary seat. It's not even honorary because she's holding it down, y'all. But the legend himself, John Lewis. That is
okay. You know what? Everybody was laughing at this. She kind of made a fool of herself. The Democrats as a whole, with their little signs and everything, totally made fools of themselves. They have really just, I don't know, joined the full-on disaster category. And I would say it goes back to this. It goes back to what we were talking about with Nicole Wallace, like having no empathy, not understanding the reality that some other people have, not being able to be kind enough as a human being to recognize the challenges of a 13-year-old with brain cancer. I mean, this isn't rocket science, but this is how low they have fallen, okay? They have fallen into the gutter. This is the swamp in action, and this actually has to change, but I don't know if they can do it. I mean, Scott Jennings nailed it. Maybe about a month ago, he said something, and I played it for you then. I'm going to play it for you now because this is the issue. Like every single thing they could possibly come out on, they're always on the wrong side, like really wrong side. Watch Scott.
Trump is like the 80-20 president. He gets on the right side of all these 80-20 issues. Democrats knee-jerk and take the 20. And then what happens? Today, CBS News poll this morning, Donald Trump sitting at a 53% approval rating, the highest he's ever recorded in that survey. Why? Because Democrats are taking the wrong side of all of these obvious issues, number one. And number two, they're giving him an enormous amount of latitude to move fast and break things, which I heard used in a pejorative fashion. But when you're talking about the government, that's what people want.
Well, and Democrats
Trump to do.
Yeah. So in other words, he's doing what they want. And you know what? The polls now, all new ones, one out of CBS YouGov, another out of Harvard Harris, they all show that American people are with him. They're with him on Doge. They're with him on the border. They're with him on women's sports. And so the Democrats are looking around and like, they got nothing. They don't actually have the winning issues. And so you got one ambitious governor out in California who has not done much for his state, to say the least. That would be one Gavin Newsom. He might be thinking it's time to maybe come a little bit more to the central, maybe actually embrace some of these things that people care about. Wait till you hear what he told my friend Charlie Kirk. I'm going to get to that in a second. But it's being said, it's important to understand, against this backdrop, against a backdrop where people like even in rural Maine are digging in their heels. If they're Democrats, they're saying, we're going to stand up for boys that want to play girls' sports. And Donald Trump's not having it. He's like, I'll see you in court and your political career is over because you are a moron. Basically, my word's not his, but take a peek.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
He's right. She's not going to be because things are turning. And they're turning so quickly, at least for those of the Democrat Party that get it. And that's a minority right now, that you had one Governor Newsom of California sit down with Charlie, who I've known a long time. I used to put him on my Fox show once a week, sometimes twice a week. He's really smart. He's very good. He sat down with Gavin and he's like, you're really thinking about this the right way? And wait till you hear what Gavin said. Let's play it.
Like you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports, right. that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate
but like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that.
Excuse me? Gavin, is that you? wow. So he has ambitions of running for president in 2028, and he knows that the country's not with him on whether it be women's sports, whether it be excessive spending, whether it be the border. And I don't know how he's going to quite backtrack because, California is proud of, say, for example, providing transgender inmates in prison with operations and trans care should they so desire it. So he's going to have a lot of explaining to do in terms of the policies he's championed there in California. But the fact that he did that, first of all, the fact that he went on Charlie's show, the fact that he said that and was sort of like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's like, who are you? What just happened? What are you doing? Maybe he's reading some of these poll numbers and he's figuring it out. But I don't think everyone's that smart. In fact, the party right now is really angry with him. They're like, what are you doing? Because we're all about men playing women's sports, right? I'm sorry. People born as males that now believe they are females playing women's sports. I'm sorry, guys. You lose us. You're losing us fast.